What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman here for Stokastic.com, back again with the process. Wednesday, July 27th. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Today, we're going to take a look at yesterday's MLB results. I can throw Monday's results in the trash. I know that was the first day back for stacking. I was on live before lock. Excel crashed at like 6:55. I ran a generic crunch, just jammed in Cleveland. Didn't work out. It's not going to help for any analysis because it wasn't what I tried to do, but I will let you guys know I got creamed. I also got creamed again last night, but I did put in the lineups that I wanted to. We're going to take a look at how my exposures related to the exposures in the relay throw last night. See if I was on good stuff, bad luck, good luck. We'll see where that stands. And then after that, we're going to take a look at the PGA contests that lock for tomorrow. I believe it locks at 6 a.m. I wanted to get this out yesterday. DK was under maintenance until 8 a.m. I had no time after 8 a.m. to be able to do that content. So unfortunately, we're doing it today, but still plenty of room in those contests for you guys to get in throughout today. So if you were looking for it, today is going to be PGA day. We'll take a look at it shortly. But for now, we got to talk about PrizePicks. I'm repping the brand today. If you can get your hands on a PrizePicks t-shirt or hoodie, I highly recommend it. They're incredibly comfortable, but that's not what I'm promoting here. I'm promoting PrizePicks in general, and you guys should use that promo code AWESEMO, AWESEMO, when you sign up so that you can get a $100 match deposit bonus. If you put in 50, they're only going to match with 50, but if you put in $100, they will match that with $100. If you could enter a contest and guarantee that you got $100, every single person would do it. Don't make it any different with deposit bonuses. Take advantage of getting free money. It will absolutely help you build your bankroll. Plenty of tools at Stokastic.com that will help you out as well. So yesterday, and I'm going to let you guys know right now, I'm looking at this with you guys for the first time. I actually analyzed this already for 7 minutes before I realized that I was looking at Monday's slate instead of yesterday's slate because I'm dumb. It's early, guys. I've only had one coffee. It's been a tough day, but now we can take a look at this. I legitimately just was aggravated that I realized that I was wrong because I looked through it all and then I had my talking points. Now I don't have those talking points. I have no idea what I'm about to see. So it's either going to make me look really good or really dumb, and you're going to get it live on the screen. So last night, the most owned stacks or the most owned teams in the relay throw, 88.5% aggregate ownership to the Chicago White Sox, 74 to the Blue Jays, and then it starts to really flatten out. No really aggressive chalk here last night. So for the mini max, we get 103% to the White Sox. So the White Sox were less owned in a high dollar contest than they were in the mini max. I was a bit under the field. I would have been neutral either way, and I'm happy with that. The Red Sox were second in the mini max at 82. They were third in the relay throw at 62. Makes me think that I was a little bit heavier on a team that I shouldn't have been heavy on, and the Red Sox were, in fact, my most exposed team yesterday. Feel like I got that one wrong, which is kind of a bummer. We see Toronto was second at 74% in the relay throw. In the mini max, same spot, but same amount of ownership, different relative rank. And then that's when it falls off a cliff. You're down into the 50s for Cleveland. I went heavy on the Giants. That was my second biggest stack yesterday. They basically a little over 2x the field on the Giants. And if we look, they had 54% aggregate exposure in the mini max. In the relay throw, is that the exact same number? Might as well have been. So same ownership to the Giants on both sides. I can't be mad that that's the stand that I took. If we want to look at the just simply teams that you needed yesterday, the Toronto Blue Jays, the Cleveland Guardians, the LA Angels, and the Milwaukee Brewers all put up 100 plus fantasy points in the aggregate. Those were the four teams that were going to help you get there, and you probably needed a couple individual bats from those spots too. As you can see, 74% aggregate for the Blue Jays, 44 for the Guardians, 27 for the Angels, and 33 for the Brewers. If I look at it on my side now, I was light on Toronto, neutral on Cleveland, light on LA, and neutral on the Brewers. So I didn't have a stand of any value on any of the 4 main teams that were needed yesterday. Them's the breaks, I guess. There's not much I could really look into and be mad about. I don't hate my exposure here. Would I have liked to have a bigger stand on Toronto or Cleveland? Sure. They did grade out pretty well for me. They just didn't happen to be the teams that I took the big time stands on. They weren't Boston. They weren't San Francisco. San Francisco was that team that I just couldn't get away from yesterday. As you can see, had basically everybody but Brandon Belt in a decent chunk above the field. All told, just looking at these exposures, I don't have like an immediate concern. I don't see anything that was just obviously missed. I would have liked to get to a little bit more Toronto, but maybe that's just me looking at it after the fact. Ultimately, I don't think there's a ton to read into. It doesn't seem like there was like a sharp side of the relay throw. If we look at all of the lineups that went to 150 max players, we can see that the best 5-man stacks, it was the White Sox in 10% of lineups. You get Boston at 7, which is a decent separation. Colorado at 6, and then you start to flatten out a bit. Is it the same for 4-mans? So wow, they were 4-man stacks, relatively limited on DK yesterday, which I think is kind of interesting. I'm a little surprised to see it be such a small percentage. I'm surprised that people are going so aggressively to 5s, but I guess that makes some sense. I would have thought it was a little bit closer. You see Boston, 1.5% 4-mans, which is a pretty sizable drop off for being like a big-time 5-man. That feels like a bit of a leak to me in the larger field, or just maybe I'm just completely wrong, but I'm surprised that it just immediately went to all 5s for Boston. Must be a testament to their value. When you can get 4, you just basically immediately got 5. But ultimately, we'll pay attention to the 5-man stacks. 10, 7, 6, 5 is the split on the relay throw. If we look at the mini-max, 10, 7, 7, 5. Pretty much the same here. Not a big difference. So I feel like both of these tournaments were obviously different in stature. I'm not trying to say that, but it doesn't seem like there was a separation point. There was so much because of pitching yesterday, because of how much high-end pitching existed on the slate. It ended up that hitting was sort of just in line. There weren't any huge gaps in ownership. There weren't any huge like, oh, this is what the sharps were doing. This is what the non-sharps were doing. I think it was just one of those cases where we had a pretty cut and dry slate. And that's how it felt on the deeper dive yesterday with Adam. When we broke this slate down, there wasn't a lot that just stood out immediately from a stack perspective. It was just like, we have all of these really good pitchers, Shane McClanahan, Nola, and how these guys worked out is besides the point. Strider, Rodon, that after that, you kind of just were able to have whatever you needed. And that's sort of the case for hitting. So I wish that I had more that I could read into. It did not go well. I think I got one lineup into the top 1%. Let me just double check that for now. We could pull up what I had. Because I went heavy into the 4-man stacks yesterday. It felt a little cleaner. But yeah, I got to 349, which is just inside the top 1%. But I don't think that I had a particularly good day. Something to pay attention to as I move forward. Not mad about my lineups or anything. I'm happy with the process that I had, but baseball's going to be weird, especially when you don't have a team that like really separates from the pack. You could have gotten into the top part of this contest very easily with multiple teams, and that's where it starts to get to be something that you want to pay attention to. If I delete my name here, reselect everything, unstacked lineup won the mini max, then it's Angels. But if we just want to look at like bigger stacks that got to the top, let me get rid of can I quickly get rid of like the 2-mans? It doesn't matter. Angels, Blue Jays, Twins, Guardians. Like you can use any of those teams really and get into that top 20, top 30 range on this contest. So when you've got a couple teams that do it, it becomes like your concentration stops mattering. You could have had 4 separate teams yesterday. You could have had Toronto, Cleveland, the Angels, or the Brewers and put together a 5-man stack that was great. Like, they were all going to look pretty similar. You probably wanted, honestly, like a 4-4 of a couple of these teams would have been really good. I just didn't get to it, which is something I'm going to pay attention to more today. But that's the end of baseball. We're going to take a look at golf now. I have the contest already pulled up. I have registered already for golf, and I've registered the things that I have highlighted. Hit that like button, by the way. We got the Rocket Mortgage going on this week. Best contest you can get into is the $1 million pitch and putt. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by that. It is $3K to max it, $20 entry fee, $1 million prize pool if you're in the top 1%. So if you get a lineup in the top 588, your average entry at that point is going to pay out $1,000 on that 20 bucks, 50 times your buy-in. Looks good. The up and down is $88 to get in. It's a 30 max, basically the same amount to max it. Much more difficult contest because of the field. When you max it, you get 2.9% of the entries in the contest. Means you're going against a lot of pros. So be ready for that. After that, you get what I think are the two best contests for casual players. That would be the $33 dog leg. It's the single entry contest. It's probably the best single entry contest that exists in any sport that I analyze. You're getting 40 times your buy-in for a 1% entry. It's only 0.05% of the field when you enter it. So it's for a pay up option. You pay less rake, and the field is going to be, I don't want to say soft because that's not the right way to describe it, but you can't corner the market in entries. So it's just a really good contest. Similarly, if you're trying to play a couple extra lineups, the $3 birdie is one of my favorite contests in DFS. $3 to get an entry, 20 entry max, so it's $60 to max it. You have 0.06% of the field when you do max it. It's an 80K prize pool, 37.5 times your buy-in if you get a top 1% entry. I love this contest. The payout structure is great. You don't have to worry at all about the people that are going to be in the contest. You can just play what you want to play, and I love that kind of stuff. The Drive the Green, the Resurgence, $10 buy-in, 150 max, looks like an interesting contest, probably pretty tough. I did not get in the mini max this week. I just felt like there were enough contests that were either small entries. Like, I wanted to play the birdie, and then it felt easier to, instead of me just putting 75 in the mini max with 95,000 entries, I put 3 in the hybrid. I put 1 in both of the $5 caddies. I put 3 in the mulligan, and that lined me up with $103 an entry. So I went a little bit over 100. It's going to happen in golf. When you have these things that only happen once a week, it's different. You want to play, you can stand to play slightly more. But for now, I've entered the birdie, the hybrid, the caddy, the mulligan, and the other caddy. So $103 in entries. I love the payout structures. Other than the rake, that's like really the only major problem. I didn't gain any like super low dollar rake stuff, but it's hard to do in the low entry contests. If I could pick up one of these, this would be great. Like, I would expect to have at least one lineup in the hybrid caddy, mulligan caddy group that separates from the pack a little bit and becomes pretty good. So let's see, 20, 23, 24, 27, 28 lineups for golf this week. That's what we'll be running. My recommendation to you guys, if you have the money, get into the pitch and putt for sure. Try to take home some actual, generally speaking, for most people, life-changing money. If you don't have that kind of stuff and you're looking more like me for this video series, if you just want to throw a single bullet in and you've got $33, get in the dog leg. I think that's going to be the most rewarding for you. Otherwise, 20 into the birdie, hybrid, caddy, mulligan, all these contests look great. If you want to get into the albatross, if you only have $12, I think that would be totally fine as well. But those are the contests for the Rocket Mortgage. Do it quick though, folks. While there's still spots available, and there's enough where you've got some time, these things are going to start to fill up as the day goes on. So take advantage of those PGA contests. Back again tomorrow to look at baseball contests. Actually, tomorrow's Thursday, right? Back again tomorrow to look at MMA contests for this Saturday, an event that I will be attending with one Adam Ship My Money share. So we definitely want to take a look through the MMA stuff because big UFC pay-per-view coming up on Saturday. That'll be our review. I just couldn't even remember that today was Wednesday. So thank you guys for watching this video. I got to remember to edit out the first 7 minutes where I talked about a slate that I didn't need to talk about. But thank you guys for watching. go check out PrizePicks and use the promo code AWESEMO, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Peace.